All right, spring questions for the week. Let's get it. First one we got here is best way to develop speed for field spots. So it depends on your sport and depends on the position. Typically, you don't have a lot of space, so shorter sprints is probably more of an emphasis. But basic way to get fast from field sports is similar to track. You just need something to time. So you need an actual timing system because particularly with short sprints, using a stopwatch is just far too much room for variability. And so first thing is just getting feedback and then working, like touching top speeds or working on short sprints, seeing your times, seeing things prove from there. I think the biggest thing for field sports, he doesn't like the answer for some reason. But I think the biggest thing is just getting feedback, getting an opportunity to actually learn how to run faster. I think it's so basic, but it's easily the most effective means of developing speed. So definitely that one for field sports. The next one's about shoes. So Maxfly 2 versus SB3. I think like the one word descriptions or like summarizes the shoes really well. So like a lot of people will say with the Maxfly 2s, they'll say that the shoe feels bouncy. And then with the SB3, they'll say that the shoe feels stiff. And so I think they sum it up pretty well. The SB3 feels sharper contact, stiff, so typically better for your shorter sprints. The Maxfly 2 feels bouncy, so it's still solid for acceleration. I wouldn't say it's better than the SB3, but once you get to top speed, the shoes are very similar. It's going to depend on preference, but I've definitely found the Maxfly 2 is way easier to hold. So I've found personally I have to execute slightly differently at top speed. Both shoes are really good. For me personally, I'd go with the SB3 if the conditions were colder, wet, damp, anything like that. Otherwise, if we're talking perfect conditions, I'd go SB3 for the 60, Maxfly 2 for anything beyond that with 100 and beyond from there. How much does a wet track influence speed? I can only give you data based on the Mondo track here in Perth. And wet track, typically with Perth, we don't get really hot weather and rain at the same time. So I'm talking about cold conditions with the rain. And so comparing 30 degrees with a dry track, I found that on the Mondo track, having under 16 degrees, typically around 14 to 15, and a wet track, typically drops top speed by about 1 meters per second. It's considerable. It's a huge drop. And this is very consistent across the athletes that I work with and with myself. So it makes a huge difference. What do you focus on before top speed PB attempts? We'll get him to answer the question. So for a top speed attempt, what I would do is just focus more on like a mental thing. Mentality over technique. So basically, I don't overemphasize technique. I don't want to get in my head and overthink the rep. And so it's more about just focusing on the target, what you want to hit to actually be a PB, and then just elevating your state, get yourself as hyped as possible, getting your energy high, all those kind of things. That's what I think really makes a difference with regards to, again, PB attempts. But again, just time them and get experience. The more you do it, the more you'll find a specific strategy that works for you there.